Every country has its moment. It's time to shine.
When the universe conspires, planets align.
Scotland invites you, our stage is set.
For one brilliant year we'll never forget.
A homecoming to celebrate all that we are. Countless events, parties near and far.
We welcome the world to come and to share, so you too can say, yes, I was there.
Explore the length and breadth of the new Aquatic Centre. Part of the world-class facilities at Aberdeen Sports Village were open to everyone. Whether you're diving, competing or learning to swim. Whatever your ability, the Aquatic Centre is the place for you. The Aberdeen Sports Village Aquatic Centre. Opening Monday the 5th of May 2014.
Good evening and welcome to the Aberdeen Sports Village in the northeast of Scotland for coverage of the Commonwealth Water Polo Championships, brought to you live and exclusive by Scottish Swimming. I'm Alan Anderson and I'll be your guide to 2 days of fantastic water polo here in Scotland. You join us at the national anthem for the game between Singapore and Scotland, the Scottish national anthem. So there we are, the Scottish national anthem being played to a full house here at the Aberdeen Sports Village. We're now going to have the presentation of the teams. And the Singapore team wearing the red robes, and they'll be wearing blue hats this evening. Number 5 there, Lim Young Yang. Paul Tan, who's our big centre forward, he's going to cause trouble tonight. Kun Yang, number 7. No Shi Kyon, number 8, and Wen Chong, number 9, one of their outside shooters, and Sean Ang, another player who could cause some trouble tonight for Scotland. Number 12, Yan Ying, who'll play most of the game for Singapore, and their second keeper, Lee Kiai Yang. So Singapore looking to get something out of this game tonight, and now the Scottish team. Our captain there, Nielsen Rutherford, and then Doniewski, and then James Scobie, followed by Ed Grundy. All these players for Portobello, Keith Anderson as well. Darren Campbell you see along the line here, just stepping out. Davy Baxter, and then the captain Nielsen Rutherford, his brother Fraser Rutherford. Chris Campbell, twin with Darren Campbell. Mark Spear, a local lad here in Aberdeen, so gets the cheers. Andrew Woodall, number 11, Alistair Campbell, and Simon Metcalf, the second goalkeeper for Scotland. Scotland have relied heavily on Dunveski for this tournament. Just see the 2 referees now getting announced to the crowd. We have the Maltese referee, Mr. Massimo Angeleri from Malta, and then from England, Mr. Mike Dukes. Both these vastly experienced referees refereed in European Championships, so well used to the pressure of big games. The FINA delegate here this week has been Mr. Gus Pinker, and he's presided over a fairly well run and successful tournament. The team's now going through the exchange of pennants, the shake of hands, and then the preparation for the match, which will be starting in a couple of minutes. I'm joined here for this match by Ian McCallum, ex-Great Britain internationalist. Ian, what do we make of this match tonight? What's the format?
Well, Scotland are in top form. We were pleased to be here and witness a terrific victory last night, probably against the odds against New Zealand. It was a tough match, and Scotland kept going to the very end. It was 6-all, but Scotland weren't to be denied last night. They took a 3-goal lead to go 9-6 ahead, and although they were pegged back, I think a 9-7 victory was well earned and well deserved. The big question is, can they come up with 2 games in a row? It's physically a demanding sport. I know that the guys are feeling it, but I think they're up for this one again. The crowd have been tremendous and really spurred the team on, and we've got another full house here tonight, and I think they're going to get right behind the team, and I fully expect to see a Scotland victory here tonight.
That's good and confident words from you there, Ian, as we see this Singapore side. Singapore side have had a challenging week, winless so far. They drew their opening game against Wales, 11-all, and then they've had tough games against Malta, New Zealand, South Africa and England. So they'll be looking to end this round-robin stage of the competition on a high. At the moment, the way things stand, they will not be playing tomorrow for one of the placing positions, so they really need a point out of today's game at least in order to get into a match-up against New Zealand. So they still got something to play for tonight. This by no means a dead rubber. And for Scotland, what do they have to do? And what's the possible outcome if they do win this match?
I think Scotland have really got to take this game seriously. As I say, after the big win last night, it's quite easy to have a dip in form. But you know, we spoke to some of the Scottish players before this game. They're really up for the game. I think we're going to see them coming out and going as hard as they can at this team for Singapore. It's been a pleasure to see Singapore in this tournament. They've been a breath of fresh air. They play a different style of mobile water polo. They're quite athletic players. They can shoot the ball well. They maybe lack a bit of experience, and they're maybe not as streetwise as some of the other teams, but it's been great to see them here, and you know, I hope we get the opportunity to see them again in the future.
Well, they have been to all of the Commonwealth Championships, the first one in Manchester in 2002. They were then in Perth in 2006, Perth, Australia. And now good to see them here for the third time that we have held this Commonwealth Water Polo Championships. For Scotland, this is the first time they've been in these championships. They elected not to go to Manchester or to Perth. Things in Scottish water polo in a little bit better state at the moment, and this has been a very positive week for not just the men's and the women's team, but for the sport in general in Scotland, with full houses here at the Aberdeen Sports Village. 2 referees about to get things underway with the opening swim off. Alistair Campbell, number 12, going for the ball for Scotland. He's the usual man, and he's been fairly successful on that swim this week, and yet again he picks it, this time from Sean Ang. So Scotland through number 5, Neilson Rutherford, their captain. Come away, James Scobie, the heavily strapped right shoulder, top scorer in the Scotland team with 13 goals. He opened the campaign very well against Wales. A couple of goals in the opening period, that gave him a lot of confidence. Opening attack from Scotland, they're getting good depth in the attack here. And a good piece of control. No opening, but nothing given away to Singapore. Darren Campbell cleverly just dumping the ball in the corner.
Dumping the ball is a really good option. It prevents the team getting a fast break, so Scotland get an opportunity to get back and set their defence.
And there the ball gets in. The ball did get into centre forward. And Alistair Campbell being very calm behind number 8 for Singapore, Nishi Kyoing. And Scotland come away. Here we have Darren Campbell, number 6, driving down the side. He plays it back to Rutherford, to Scobie. to Alistair Campbell, and a fabulous goal from Scotland. Number 12 for Scotland, Alistair Campbell opens the scoring.
Yeah, that was a well-worked move by Scotland. You can see the passing play, the interaction between the players. It started off in the top, Rutherford to Scobie, and Campbell out in the wing. And an excellent finish at the near post to put Scotland in front.
And Nigel Tay's had a busy week. That was a well-positioned shot from Alistair Campbell. So Singapore coming back through number 3, Ajiji. They want to get the ball into that centre forward, Jian Ying. They do get it in, Rutherford behind, and because he's behind he does get excluded. Perhaps a little bit weak decision. And Singapore getting the chance for their first man up. And they have got some good handling, Singapore. Perhaps not the best choice of shots, but it looks very good. Number 12, Jian Ying, we'll see a lot of him in this game. And then the left-hander takes a shot, number 5, Lo Jiang, and Singapore keep the ball, and another shot possibly, this time from the wing. And that's a lovely shot from Jian Ying, taking the ball across the goals and finding the far corner, and Singapore have evened things up.
Yeah, Singapore's number 12 gets the ball. He's out in the wing here. Keith Anderson's got the near post blocked, and he finds that far corner just inside the post. And Donetsky, who's had a fabulous tournament so far, just can't keep that one out.
And Darren Campbell, number 6, also looking to block, so that was a very good shot there. Andrew Woodall, number 11, enters the fray for Scotland. He scored a couple of big goals for Scotland from the man-up position, and Keith Anderson, we see this move a lot, and it brings the same success. Mark Speed at the far post off Anderson's drive.
Now, you would think most of Europe's seen that move a million times, but nobody can defend it. Portobello used that move in the National League. Keith Anderson drives down the right-hand side inside 2 metres, flips the ball across the goal. And normally it's Fraser Rutherford is on the end of it, but this time it's Mark Speed. Scotland go in the lead 2-1.
Singapore coming back with the attack, and they got a good ball into centre forward, but well defended. That was good defence there from Andrew Woodall, holding his position, letting it run through, and then Alistair Campbell able to come back. And Donetsky fires a lovely ball all the way to the 5 metres for Scobie. Scotland well set up in attack, and able to put some real penetration into the attack here. Aaron Campbell, Andrew Woodall, Scobie, he'll be looking for a shot here, but perhaps looking for the foul too much, but he does get it now, and that's an exclusion. Jian Ying, number 12, throwing the ball away after the foul, and referee Massimilio Angeleri rightly calling for the exclusion. So Scotland with the first man-up opportunity of their campaign here. Can hear number 4 for Scotland, Keith Anderson calling the plays for them. And here's Scobie, but that shot not finding the target, disappointing there for Scotland.
Yeah, he was out of rhythm there, Scobie. He wasn't really expecting the ball, and
Singapore coming away at the other end through number 10, Sean Ang. And Vesky there. He's had a fabulous week in goals for Scotland. So it's end-to-end stuff here at the Aberdeen Sports Village. Aaron Campbell and Keith Anderson, we've seen them already in this opening period in positions 1 and 2. And again Anderson to Alistair Campbell. But this time he doesn't shoot low enough or bounce well enough. And Nigel Tay parries it down with both hands. Number 12 for Singapore with the ball. And they get it into centre. Nice play there from Lin Yang, number 2. But really that shot from 13 metres shouldn't be troubling the Scotland goalkeeper.
Yeah, it's been a good confident start, I think, by Scotland. They need to just keep the pressure up and take their chances. Here they are on the counter-attack.
Alistair Campbell with the opportunity, and he pops it over the hands of Nigel Tay. Route 2 there for Scotland. Dunvesky out to Darren Campbell, on the right, and then over to the left, Alistair Campbell. We've seen him 3 times already in that position.
Yeah, here's Alistair Campbell. You can see he's committed the goalie to the near post, and he comes from a long water playing tradition in the Campbell clan, and I'm sure they'll all be watching this, be delighted to see that ball find the back of the net.
So a solid start from Scotland. 3:30 of this first period remaining. Scotland white hats playing from left to right. Well, Singapore have had their chances. They've been getting the ball in fairly easily. Scotland now pressing a little bit higher, making the centre forward work. Andrew Wirral doing the defence against number 8, Sho Kyun. That's making Singapore do all the work here as the clock ticks down, and again the big outside shot. Again, the second attack in the row where the final shots come from over 12 metres. And now Chris Campbell, number 9, to Alistair Campbell. Back to Chris Campbell. You see Scotland going with a second centre forward. Fraser Rutherford rolling out, and that's a weak pass from Rutherford. Anderson giving him a bit of a displeasing look.
He seems to have an awful problem keeping his hat on, Keith. He's been like that all week.
Singapore coming back with the ball. Yip Yang, number 4, and they do get it into centre, but it's a turnover. Paul Tan said he would be the big centre forward, but the push off there gives the foul against, and it is number 3 for Scotland, Ed Grundy, one of the 6 Portobello players in this side, who's meandering towards the goal. And here's Fraser Rutherford coming forward, but he gets it in. He gets it into Chris Campbell, but referee Massimo Angeleri almost apologetically saying, "You're not on holding like that," and giving Singapore the ball. A little bit up and down for the last few minutes.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Scotland made a good, solid start. They've made some terrific combinations for their goals, and I think they're pretty comfortable.
Singapore get the ball into centre, and that's a nice back hook. Number 8, Sho Kyun, getting the back hook. Angeleri calling for the ball in the water. We see the replay of that.
Yeah, there's Danevsky, the Scottish goalkeeper. He's been in top form all week, and that's another outstanding save.
Yeah, had a very good game against South Africa here a couple of nights ago when Scotland went oh so close, going down by 9 goals to 8. And then again last night against New Zealand, where Scotland came out on top by 9 goals to 6. And a ball under there. And with that, the Scottish coach, Rhys Tamlin, walks up the side and calls a timeout. 1 timeout each for the teams in each period, 1 minute. The 2 Scottish coaches there. On your right, Rhys Tamlin, the assistant coach, Ramon Valvona, both calling the changes.
I think you got that wrong there, Alan. Raymond's the assistant coach, but no, they've been a terrific team, the 2 of them, and they've really set the team up well in all the games. And again tonight, they look a really solid, well-drilled unit. They've made a really strong start to this game, and I'm sure the coaching team will be pleased with that.
Yes, they have set their tactics out well this week and achieved some very positive results. The 3 defeats against the 3 sides above them in the table. England, who look far and away the outstanding team of the tournament so far. They had a convincing win over Malta earlier on this afternoon by winning 10 goals to 3. And then South Africa, who Scotland would play if they can get a result here this evening in the 3rd, 4th, and that's a good move. Davy Baxter, number 7, rolling in at the second centre, but not able to control, and the ball goes through to Nigel Tay in the Singapore goals. But that's a lovely piece of play there from Chris Campbell. Almost batted the ball there to intercept, and he's now going through and in on goal, driving down this right-hand side. He's just got Tay to beat in the goals. Draws him once, and that's a calm finish from Campbell.
You've got to be impressed by that. The young Campbell twins, they've stepped up and they're playing a bigger and bigger part of the Scottish team. He anticipated that long throw out there by the goalkeeper. He batted the ball down and that gave him the 1-0. Athletic effort by the Singapore goalkeeper, but Campbell was always favourite to finish that, and he did.
Both Dan and Chris Campbell, twins, earlier this week against Malta. It was a very tough match, but they've come back strong since then, playing particularly well against South Africa, and then the tough match against England. Scotland had second place, and then a good win against New Zealand last night. And Rutherford gets turned, but he does very well to come off the player and not give away the major foul. And now Scotland do have the counter-attack. Alistair Campbell, Davy Baxter, the clock ticks down inside the last 5. And Davy Baxter perhaps not the best person to take the long-range shot.
Nah, Davy's not known for his outside shooting. He seemed quite keen to let fly there though.
Well, that's been a very positive start from Scotland in that opening period. 4 goals to 1. 2 goals from Alistair Campbell, 1 from Mark Speed, and then 1 from Chris Campbell. The scorer for Singapore, their top scorer so far this week, number 12, Ko Jian Ying. But really, what do you make of that opening period?
We hoped that Scotland would come out strong and maybe make this a slightly easier game than it could have been, and that's exactly what they've done. They've taken the game to Singapore. They've been very positive. They've worked hard. Reece has got them playing a really excellent brand of water polo, and I think you saw that with the first goal, with the big combination goal where it went from Rutherford to Scobie to Alistair Campbell. It's been an excellent start to the game for Scotland, and I'm sure, as I say, the coaching staff and the big crowd that we've got here will be enjoying themselves.
He's got a few challenges on his hand for Singapore to get in the place for 6th position and the opportunity to play for 5th, 6th place tomorrow. It's just doing a period time chant there, so they're obviously still keen and up for the fight. What would you think their approach should be?
They've actually played reasonable in the first period. They got the ball into their big centre forward. He is a handful. Danevsky in the Scottish goal made an excellent save from a back hook, which would have put a different complexion on the score at 4-2. So I think he's got to keep doing what he's doing and try and get the ball to the centre forward. They need to stay a bit more mobile because Scotland are clever and really know how to counter-attack. So keep it mobile and getting the ball into that big centre forward, and I think they can maybe stay in this game.
So here we go, the final game in the round robin section of the Commonwealth Water Polo Championships 2014 here at the Aberdeen Sports Village. We're about to get the second period underway. Singapore blue, Scotland white. Our referee's ready to blow the whistle, and we're off. And for Scotland, just trying to see who that is. It's number 6, but it is Singapore who come up with the ball. So Darren Campbell beaten to the swim off by Sean Ang. I'm sure his brother will have something to say about that.
Singapore under a lot of pressure, struggling to get the ball to the centre forward. He's got good position now if they can get the ball to him.
Scotland going on the counter, perhaps a bit early. That was a good save there from Danevsky. And Dewuro had pushed the Yang out, and at the other end, James Scobie comes forward and with the opportunity hits the post, but he retains possession, and it goes to the far side, and Ed Grundy pushes the ball in. Good piece of play from Scobie to pick up the rebound.
Yeah, you thought the chance was lost there. Maybe Scobie could have looked to his left when he took the shot, but he took the shot on, it rebounded out. He didn't recognise the ball was next to him, but then he did, and he got the ball straight across the goal, and Ed Grundy was right on the spot to put that in for Scotland's 5th goal of the game.
So Darren Campbell, number 6, pushing all the way up the pool. Scotland pushing very high and stopping Singapore doing anything up front. They have got it up now to the 5 metre and into the centre forward, Lindy Yang, and he's a big lad and he's done very well. Almost swatted Andrew Woodall away. And Donenbeski got no hope with that.
Yeah, Lindy Yang there, he's a big strong fella and he got the ball there. The problem when you play a press like that is that you leave your central defender isolated. There was no help back. Andrew Woodall put 2 hands up as he should have done, and it gave Lindy Yang the opportunity to spin round, move across and slot the ball into the goal for Singapore's second goal to make the score 5-2 to Scotland.
Scobie, number 2, but also noticeable by the strapping on his shoulder. Ed Grundy, a little bit ill-disciplined there with that shot. And it gives Singapore the chance to come back through number 10, Sean Ang. Lo Gigi, number 3. Back to Ang. Scotland are pressing hard again, pushing all the way up the pool. As we said, Ian, that leaves this exposure when the ball goes in. But now Ed Grundy gets in a better position. And Andrew Woodall came back, so that was well covered from Scotland. It prevents the counter-attack though, it negates the ability to counter-attack, which was what was bringing success in the opening period. Andrew Woodall to Ed Grundy. The ball goes in, Mark Speed fighting hard for it and retaining possession and winning the exclusion. I'll be pleased with that, although the Singapore bench might not be quite so happy. Number 9, Wayne Chong, he'll sit for 20, and Scotland will have the player extra.
Yeah, Scotland have been playing, their extra man's been good this week, they've moved the ball well. You see James Scobie taking it round, trying to isolate Andrew Woodall in the middle.
It kind of fell dead a little bit there, but it goes back to Scobie on that far side, and he wraps the bar. Not quite staying up enough for the shot. So a chance goes a-begging for Scotland.
You wonder how much that shoulder is affecting James Scobie's shooting action. He's struggled with it all week. It's heavily strapped now. You hope he's going to be good for the game tomorrow if Scotland make it all the way there. Scotland again pressing high up the pool. Only 8 seconds left on the possession for Singapore, and not really creating anything. Rutherford not committing the foul. And there we go. Darren Campbell able to pick across and steal that ball. And that wins an exclusion as well. Number 3 for Singapore, Lo Gigi, excluded for 20 seconds. And with that, the Scottish coach Rhys Tamlin calls a timeout, looking to make a few changes. These players have been in the water for a few minutes and up and down on a few occasions, so some fresh arms and legs for the man-up situation could well be in order. Yeah, it's been impressive. I'm impressed by the way the coaching team are switching it about defensively. We've been playing a drop at the start of the game, a kind of zonal system to try and draw the opponents up. And then they've started to play a press and really put them under pressure, make it difficult for them to get the ball into the centre forward. So it's a good coaching tactic. Mix it up, make the attack always wonder what they're going to be presented with.
So the timeout, 1 minute of the timeout. Almost over. The game will restart with number 1 Bojan Donveski with the ball. Scotland will have the man-up situation. 4:45 of the second period remaining. Rutherford, Scobie, Singapore getting drawn out, which leaves the opportunities on the post, but there'll be no opportunities with passes like that. Rutherford to Woodall, to Scobie, relying heavily on Scobie. The Singapore player comes back into play, and that opportunity could go a-begging unless we get movement. The ball goes to Fraser Rutherford, and that's a fabulous piece of skill from the big centre forward.
Yeah, the big fella, he's used to getting the ball in the centre forward position, and you could see Aloy received it on the post there. He had a big centre forward move, drawing the player on his back and just turning it around the goalkeeper.
Well, it did look like Scotland had taken too long over that man extra, but showing good composure to be happy to play out and look for the opportunity right until the end. Scobie again trying their best not to foul. And again the clock ticking down for Singapore. This is where they have had problems this week, really penetrating and setting up in the opponent's 5 metres. And Scotland now going on the counter-attack as the ball is dumped. And it is Dunveski closest to the ball who goes for it.
And
Singapore have covered the counter-attack there.
Yeah, those not familiar with water polo, it's a good move sometimes when a shot's not on at the end of a possession. If you dump it, it takes the sting out of the opposition's counter-attack. Turnover, Fraser Rutherford
offering a leg up to his centre-back defender, and referee Mike Dukes, as he often does, not liking the attentions from Rutherford. And Singapore with a quick counter-attack and the outside shot, but well blocked. The shot there from Kunyang, number 7. Not even getting to Dunveski, and Alistair Campbell comes down this right-hand side of the pool. Stand side of the pool here at the Aberdeen Sports Village. Trying to take a player on a 1-0 fight, but he loses out on that occasion. Sean Ang holding his ground and winning the ball. And the Singapore coach, seeing that his team were not making great progress up the pool, elects to take a timeout. Lee Siai Meng. So this has been a tough week for Singapore, and particularly given the schedule. They've ended up playing 6 matches in a row. They were off the first day of the tournament, so this is their 6th match, and they will surely be feeling the effects of that schedule.
Yeah, and I think Rhys Tamlin, the Scottish head coach, has recognised that. He's went to a full press, which makes it even more physically demanding to get the ball into the centre forward, and it tends to drain all the strength that's left in the team. And I think that's a wise tactic. Let's see if he continues with that in the rest of this period.
A number of changes there in the Singapore side. Bring in number 8, Nishui Kon, to sit in centre forward position. Ko Jian Ying, number 12. Starts with the ball, and as you predict, Ian, Scotland going to a press, but Alistair Campbell being skinned there. But he's coming back, and that's a lovely piece of defence. Although perhaps lucky to get away with the second pull of the arm when the ball wasn't there. And again, Scotland back helping out Davy Baxter, Fraser Rutherford. It's not often you see these two stealing the ball. A double team.
Yeah, both big centre forwards. They tend to like to do their work at the other end of the pitch.
Alistair Campbell driving down, there's people on the far side. The ball doesn't get there. Ed Grundy goes to sit centre forward. Not a normal position for him. And he has a little pull of the Singapore number 4, Yip Yang. And as a result, he's excluded for 20 seconds. A little bit unnecessary at that point of the game in that area off the pitch.
We see it so often when players lose the ball, they're maybe slightly frustrated, they just hang on to the attacker. They really need to be more sensible than that.
So Grundy will be replaced off the exclusion by Keith Anderson. A powerful game from him last night in beating New Zealand. Played all but 2 minutes of the match, which was a fair effort.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say he's not in his first flush of youth as our Keith, and he's been giving Scotland some fabulous minutes in this tournament.
Alistair Campbell driving in again. He's getting a lot of space here. He's just trying to get the position. He does! And a lovely shot there. Again, holding some composure.
Yeah, Alistair Campbell's had a terrific tournament. He's been consistent in his attacking play. He's a quick player. He uses that speed to his advantage, and you saw how he managed to get some separation down that right-hand side. He still had a lot to do, but he shot that ball across the goalkeeper into the left-hand corner.
Some good shot selection for Campbell for his 3 goals this evening. It's giving Scotland a comfortable position as we draw to the end of this second period. Just over a minute of the second period remaining. And again, Scotland pressing very hard and high. And Rutherford, that's a little bit unnecessary from him, given the foul away, which was fair enough. No need to flick the ball away, and rightly excluded. A couple of bits of ill-discipline from Scotland, from Grundy and then Rutherford. And here's Singapore, Yip Yang, number 4. Back to the left-hander. Yang, the shot, but hits the post. And Keith Anderson steals it once, but not a second time. Although we are now even. Mark Speed comes in for Scotland. And Singapore have the ball through number 6, Paul Tang. Shoots a little bit too high.
Davneski with the ball. Do you think we'll see him in the second half, or do you think the coach will take an opportunity to give Scotland's goalkeeper Simon Metcalf a run?
Metcalf had a run early on in the Wales game. As that shot from Rutherford under pressure goes harmlessly by. I'm not sure, maybe they'll wait till the end of the third period before making a change. Although having said that, Metcalf has got his robe off. Although we'd expect him to come in at half-time to do the warm-up, just to make sure he's fresh in the event he is needed. So, a good opening 2 periods for Scotland. Plenty work for Singapore still to be done. Scotland and White Hats leading by 7 goals to 2. Alistair Campbell with 3 goals. James Scobie, the top scorer. He's yet to get on the score sheet, so Campbell will be catching him up. But we've also had a fair mix of other players. Fraser Rutherford getting 1. Ed Grundy doing 3. Who else was on the score? It was Chris Campbell who got a nice goal for them. And also Mark Speed popping up as he did last night to get the pass at the back post from Keith Anderson.
Yeah, it looks like Scotland are going to change their goalkeeper, and Simon Metcalf's going to get a run out in the second half. It's certainly no reflection in the way Davneski's played. He's had another terrific first half for Scotland.
And both teams electing to make a change. So for Singapore, their number 13, Lee Kia Yang, will come in. Nigel Tate, and a fairly decent first 2 periods. Wasn't getting a lot of defence at times. So Kia Yang gets the opportunity. A long trip from Singapore up to here to Aberdeen, but the Singapore team seem to have enjoyed their week in Scotland here at the Aberdeen Sports Village for the Commonwealth Water Polo Championships 2014. And for those of you out there who wish to keep involved via social media, hashtag CWPC 2014. Keep your tweets, Twitters and pictures coming. Also Instagram for any pictures or video you care to post. All adds to the event. 5-minute break between the second and third periods, and the teams do change ends. So it will be Scotland coming back from right to left, Singapore playing from left to right. And a little bit cloudier in Aberdeen tonight. Last night there was some concern that the sun was going in the goalkeeper's eyes.
Yeah, not a regular complaint in Scotland. We don't regularly suffer from sun in the eyes in Scotland, but it's been an excellent week so far up in Aberdeen. The weather's been kind. It's very bright up here late at night and early in the morning, being so far north.
So we're going to take a little break for just now, and we're going to watch a message from Homecoming Scotland.
The best of Scotland is right on your doorstep this year. Hundreds of events are taking place across Scotland to celebrate Homecoming 2014. So you won't have to travel far to find them. Homecoming 2014, a year of brilliant moments right on your doorstep.
Was great, but I'm getting ready to make 2014 even better.
It'll be a great night just to catch up, relax, and you know, as a swimmer actually get to dress up and look normal.
And then a chance to see lots of people from all around different parts of swimming and have a good evening with them.
The awards ceremony was fantastic, with most people turned out ever, so years to come it's just going to get bigger and bigger.
Welcome to Scottish Swimming's official YouTube channel. No matter if you compete or participate in swimming, disability swimming, diving, synchro, open water, water polo or masters, if you're a teacher, tutor or coach, or simply interested in what we're up to, this is the place to find it, from wherever you are in the world. On our channel, you can watch our key events live or on demand, or simply the highlights afterwards, all for free 24/7. If you subscribe, you'll not miss any new videos, so what are you waiting for?
Every country has its moment. It's time to shine.
When the universe conspires, planets align.
Scotland invites you, our stage is set.
For one brilliant year we'll never forget.
A homecoming to celebrate all that we are. Countless events, parties near and far.
We welcome the world to come and to share, so you too can say, yes, I was there.
Woodall, who will be playing in the point position along beside Keith Anderson. And here's Keith Anderson there. He's controlled a lot of the game for Scotland, and he picks out, and that's a nice ball in. The ball there to Mark Speed from number 9, Chris Campbell. Singapore come back with the ball with their number 11, Gilbert Bay. Our main man Yan Ying, number 12. Scottish defence, Simon Metcalf in goals for Scotland now. He's getting good cover, good block there. And his first job is to pick the ball out and release Alistair Campbell down that right wing.
Yeah, it's been a nice steady start to the second half for Scotland. 7-2 at half time. You'd like to think the game was very much in control. Give an opportunity for the coaching staff to play all of the players and to share the workload.
The ball goes into Speed, and he wins a penalty for that against number 5 for Singapore, Lim Zhao Jiang.
Some afters there as well. I think Mark Speed was too happy with the treatment he received after the penalty had been awarded.
Tall, gangly player, very different centre forward from Fraser Rutherford. Is Alistair Campbell, number 12, who steps up to the 5-metre line. First piece of action for Kim Yang is to pick the ball out of the net as Alistair Campbell successfully converts Scotland's 8th goal of the game, his 4th. Things are looking fairly healthy for Scotland getting into that bronze medal match against South Africa. And as we saw in the second period, Scotland starting with this very heavy press. They kind of steal the ball on every occasion, and clever play from the Campbells there. Number 6, Darren Campbell, let him go, and his brother Chris Campbell came in and stole the ball, and now Scotland have the counter-attack opportunity. Andrew Woodall, his job to drive for goal, which he does. And over the other side, and a snapshot there from Darren Campbell. And a tug from him after his shot, and he's excluded for 20 seconds. You may disagree, but that's not going to change referee Mike Dukes. So Singapore have the opportunity. They go forward to play the 6-on-5. Gilbert Bay, number 11. Jan Ying comes round, and Scotland survive as it wraps the inside of the post and comes out again. That was a nice personal move there from Jian Ying.
Yeah, he's a good player. He can shoot the ball extremely well. His movement's good, and he just moved round and gave himself the opportunity, but unfortunately for him, the ball came back off the post.
This game breaking up a little bit. Scotland pressing all the way around the pool in Singapore. Having to work very hard under the pressure. Andrew Woodall tangling there with Yao Jiang. And now Keith Anderson just trying to do enough to prevent it, but it gives the opportunity. It was a lovely pass. Gilbert Bay comes in, but Ed Grundy came back to get his elbow and took all the power out of the shot, just falling into the hands of Simon Metcalf. And now Grundy goes on and goes forward, and Scotland have the player advantage. But they're not taking any chances. Chris Campbell went back to cover, so there was no one from Singapore left, so Scotland will play this. Alistair Campbell. 5 seconds left in the possession clock, but a push off there from Ed Grundy gives Singapore the ball. I think Scotland will be happy just to trade things up and down in this period.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think just for the rhythm of the game, they want to keep a decent rhythm going, because you don't want the game to get broken up. You want to keep playing your set plays and get some value from the game, so let's just hope that they keep going.
Singapore content to put back and forth on the top, and for the outside shot, and that's a lovely block. That was a good piece of work from Chris Campbell. Not the biggest, but taking on one of the bigger players in the Singapore team. Number 2, Lindy Yang, as Scotland stream forward again. Second wave, and here's Campbell. Passes to Alistair Campbell, and that's a shot through the hands of the Singapore keeper, Kia Yang, and Campbell nets his 5th goal of the evening.
He might have lost his hat, Alistair Campbell, but he's not lost his eye for goal. He broke all the way up the pool there, and his younger brother, one of the twins who are playing just now, found him with the pass to the left-hand side, and he made no mistake through the goalkeeper's arms to make the score 9-2 to Scotland.
Singapore really need to do something to break this up and penetrate more into the Scottish half. They're not getting their arc set up at all. Scotland keeping them out off the 5 metres, and they're not going to score many goals from outside there. Scotland have put their, how shall we politely call it, their heavier squad back in the water.
Whenever Fraser's in the water, I think that's a reasonable comment.
And Nielsen Rutherford doing well there to pick the ball. And they do have the counter-attack. Grundy, Scobie and Fraser Rutherford.
Finesse there by Fraser's not normally his strong point there. It was almost a collector's item there, a fast break, if you can call it as such, from Fraser, but he was at the end of that counter-attack and he just couldn't convert.
So Scotland back on the defence, and Anderson comes across to pick that ball off the Singapore centre forward. Number 9, Wayne Chong, not getting the service he would really want, sitting in the centre forward position. And Scobie drives the attack. Rutherford, Keith Anderson, Ed Grundy. And clock ticks down. Grundy electing to shoot on 2 seconds. Scotland were well covered. I think Scotland will be happy just to let the 2 minutes of this period run out.
Yeah, they've done exactly what they wanted to do in this game. They started very strongly, and now they've been given the opportunity maybe just to take the foot off the gas slightly in the last period and a half.
Although Jiang, number 3, with the outside shot, and he keeps it low, skipping across the water and under the arms of Simon Metcalf to give Singapore their 3rd goal of this game. 1 in the first, 1 in the second, and 1 in the third so far for Singapore.
Yeah, Scotland left him just a bit too much space there. He was clear in the middle of the pool. He wasn't as far out as he has been, and from maybe 7 metres you would fancy his chances from there.
It's not enough pressure there from the Scottish defence. Here we are back in the Singapore half of the pool. This pool here at the Aberdeen Sports Village. The ball gets into Rutherford. Big strong play in centre forward, and he'll be delighted with that. A really good ball and right to his hand from Keith Anderson. And he's done his work and he's gone to take his rest.
Well, that's what these big centre forwards do. They like the ball in, they like to have the player on their back, and Fraser's a master of the dark arts. And when you get the ball in and when he's got a hold of the defender, there's normally only one outcome.
It was good control to find the right shot as well. Shooting under the arms of Kia Yang. Slight change in the defence for Scotland. Dropping back, the number 6, Paul Tan. Singapore do get a chance to set slightly and get the ball in, but Anderson again back to steal. Anderson and Rutherford know each other so well in defence there. And now Darren Campbell down that far side.
He does put a power of work in, Keith Anderson.
Ed Grundy. Perhaps not the best shot selection from Grundy. And there was an advantage up the other end here for Singapore. And there still is if they can get the ball. But perhaps a little bit slow, though they do now have a 4-on-3. And it is Davy Baxter doing his best to get back. But if Singapore can move it quickly, they'll have the advantage. Number 7, Koh Yang takes a shot and finds the back of the net. So Singapore will take some heart from that counter-attack.
Yeah, Koh Yang's done well there. The play's getting a bit broken now, and there's a bit more space for the shooters, and he certainly took advantage of that.
Interesting call there from the Scottish coach with just under 12 seconds of this third period remaining. Scotland well in control of the match, electing to take a timeout. Perhaps wishing to exercise some play that he's got for the last few seconds of the game, or a period when they require a goal. Certainly bringing in Mark Speed for centre forward. Let's see what other changes are being made. Andrew Woodall's coming in. Davy Baxter still on the water. Perhaps a move involving Speed or Andrew Woodall with a shot from the outside, as we've seen him a couple of times this week.
It wouldn't surprise me to see the ball going to Keith Anderson on the right hand side and one of his famous drives and the ball coming back across the goal. Is that a possibility?
If they get the space, they're certainly setting up that way. Rutherford, Scobie, back to Rutherford, and here we see the driving, both sides working, all action, and they win an exclusion for their efforts, and Scobie gets the shot. Oh, there's a snapshot there from Scobie. Scotland trying to get the goal before the end of the period. They won the exclusion, but Singapore took the ball back, so they will be even for the start of the fourth period. So Ian, Scotland 10, Singapore 4. Scotland well on the way to this bronze medal match tomorrow against South Africa. What are your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, it's been comfortable. It's been a consummate performance by Scotland. They really had to come out and stamp their authority on the game at the start to make sure it wasn't going to be a four-period contest, and I think they've done that perfectly. They've been in front the whole way, and they've really been well in control, and it'll give the opportunity to Rhys Tamlin, Rim and Valvona to mix it up now, give all the bench a game and maybe rest some of the very weary limbs that are out there.
South Africa, a day off for them today. Their last game in the round robin competition was last night, and they did have a tough encounter when they played Wales. They did run out winners by 8-6, but it was close all the way to the end. Wales came back strongly. So it looks like the lineups for tomorrow's games in the men's competition. The gold medal match will be between England and Malta. It looks like the bronze will be between South Africa and Scotland. The 5th, 6th between Wales and New Zealand. And Wales and Singapore, although they drew, Wales have the better goal difference, which is what will count in this competition. In the women's competition, we will see the final, a game between Canada and England, and also the final match in the 3-4-5 placings games, which will be between Scotland and South Africa. Particularly interesting couple of finals coming up tomorrow, Ian.
Yeah, the England-Canada game for the women's gold medal, the meeting in the round-robin tournament was a very close affair. England looked as though they had the game in control, and Canada came storming back, and in the end were maybe hanging on for the 98 victory, but it certainly sets it up for a fabulous game tomorrow.
But here we are, Aberdeen Sports Village, quarter-4, Scotland against Singapore. Off for the swim-off, Ali Campbell, number 12, and it looked like Yip Yang had beaten him to it, but a nice flick gives Scotland possession. So Scotland winning 3 out of the 4 swim-offs. And Rutherford gets set again, and it shows great power. Number 5, Lim Yao Zhang, just being nice and calm, left-hander in the Singapore side, and it's him, it's he who collects the ball.
Yeah, Fraser Rutherford had the ball, then he did look in a strong position, but it was good defence by Singapore and Lim Yang.
Number 3, Lo Jiji, looking for the foul and the possible shot, but getting crowded out by the attentions of Alistair Campbell and his brother Chris Campbell. And Mark Speed now drives down the far side of the pool. Looks for an outlet, finds one, and a pass again to Scobie, and he'll take the shot. And he found a hole there somewhere.
They were queuing up at the back post. There was Darren Campbell, Alistair Campbell, and he just patted the ball on to James Scobie. That didn't look as though there was much to aim at, but he found the gap in that near post there and makes the score 11-4 to Scotland.
Just over 6.5 minutes off this match remaining. Aberdeen Sports Village, if you want to keep in touch with this competition, social media, hashtag CWPC 2014. And Singapore get the shot away to their centre forward, number 8, Shi Kyun. Simon Metcalf goes down with his left hand side and then puts the ball out to the right to Mark Speed. Scotland done well driving down that right hand side of the pool and putting the ball over here to the left and then into Rutherford. And the arm round the neck of Rutherford wins a pretty fair exclusion.
Yeah, I think that could have been called a mugging there if you were outside the pool. He had him right round the throat there, and the referee was quick to pick up on that.
Yeah, so number 7, Kun Yang, excluded for 20 seconds. Scotland with a player extra. Alistair Campbell. Perhaps not the best shot selection for him there. Scotland with the opportunity to exercise some of their man-up moves here when they do get that chance. Yao Jiang. Over to Kun Yang, number 7. And Singapore getting the ball up the pool. There are only 10 seconds left on the possession clock. And no real danger from there, he says. But there is danger in the end. The commentator's curse as number 8, Neo Shi Kyun, is pulled back by Andrew Woodall. And Singapore win a penalty.
Andrew Woodall looked confused at that, but I think it was he either did pull him back or it was a terrific fake, because it looked like that from here.
Yeah, it did from the side. So for Singapore, number 3, Gigi. He wraps the post and straight back into the arms of Simon Metcalf. Not sure he knew much about it, but he'll claim that as a penalty save.
No question. I mean, he was quick reactions. It came straight off the post into his arms, and he caught it.
So Scotland go up the other end with just over 5 minutes of this game remaining. And the ball over to the left here. Sir Campbell, number 12. He tries the lob, comes off the bar. Scotland going a little bit flat in attack this period. Not with the score at 11 goals to 4. Be more than happy just to trade time with this Singapore team and confirm their work being done. Alistair Woodall letting Zhou Xiang dribble round, and that's a lovely individual goal. Yao Xiang goes round Woodall and lobs the ball over the arms of Simon Metcalf. And Singapore have a 5th goal this evening here at the Aberdeen Sports Village.
Yeah, it was a good finish. There was nothing on, and he took Andrew Woodall on, and Andrew Woodall, sensibly enough, had both his hands up to try and prevent being excluded, but he couldn't prevent that finish as he just lobbed the ball over Simon Metcalf into the goal off the post.
It might have been better to give away the exclusion at that point in time, do you think?
Yeah, I think so, but not only I think are they physically tired, but I think mentally they're pretty tired now as well.
But
so
they got the ball into Davy Baxter, rolling in the second centre, and the back hook from Baxter. Well, not only is his back hook saved, but he's excluded for holding back the Singapore number 9, Wayne Chong, who was going on a counter-attack. So Singapore will have a 6-on-5 as they get up here at the Scottish half, in front of the Scottish goal. Some good hands from Singapore. Baxter will be able to come straight back in. Surprising that there's no change of personnel on that one. And that's a lovely shot from the left-hander, Wayne Chong. Andrew Woodall, the man in front there. Scotland perhaps need to get a grip on proceedings. They want to end the game on a low note.
Nah, they've lost their way slightly. I think it's just getting a bit scrappy, and they're losing a bit of discipline, and it's understandable. It's been a tough playing game after game after such a massive effort last night against New Zealand. You can understand that they're beginning to run out a bit of energy.
Andrew Woodall in the shooting position. And again, referee Mike Dukes giving the Scottish team very little in offence this period. The third turnaround, that takes its toll. It gives Singapore some heart as they come forward again on the counter-attack. Lindy Yang, number 2. Nice save from Simon Metcalf. Some good reactions from him as Lindy Yang worked the position and threw the shot goalward. So 3 minutes off this match remaining.
Metcalf have to bide his time, but that was an excellent save from him from point blank range.
It's over 2.5 minutes of this match remaining, and here's Singapore with another chance. Number 2, Lindy Yang, but Metcalf gets his hands to it. He'll be pleased with his performance in these 2 periods that he's played. And coach Rhys Tamlin decides he needs to inject something to the Scottish team for the last 2 minutes off the game, and he elects to call a timeout.
Yeah, an important save there by Simon Metcalf. Although Scotland are in no danger in this game, I think the momentum, you want to keep that momentum and that positive vibe up, and Simon's been working hard in training, and he got his rewards there. That was an excellent stop.
It was, and although coach Rhys Tamlin called the timeout, he's only making 1 change in personnel. Obviously resting some of the more experienced players for tomorrow's game. So those on the bench: Keith Anderson, Neilson Rutherford, Fraser Rutherford, James Scobie remaining on the benches. Andrew Woodall takes a break, and Ed Grundy comes into the action.
Yeah, it's not a sight we've seen often in this tournament. Keith Anderson sitting on the bench. He's put some big shifts in, and I think if anyone's earned a seat, it's Keith.
So 2:30 to go. Scotland in possession, white hats, Singapore in the blue. Singapore going to a press. Scotland slow to put the ball in, but Grundy tidies things up. The opportunity may still present itself, but aggressive play here for Singapore. Sean Ang taking it off Alistair Campbell and driving hard for goal. But Campbell doing very well to come back, just taking the arm at the right time. Singapore still going hard, it's good to see. This will be their last piece of action in the Commonwealth Water Polo Championships 2014. They will have the day off tomorrow. 6 games in a row for them, so it's been a tough week. As Chris Campbell releases Ed Grundy and the space opens up, but he plays it back. Alistair Campbell's Scotland just controlling matters, and Mark Speed. Well, that didn't look like it was going anywhere. The ball scrambled into Speed, and a nice back hook from him in the centre forward.
Yeah, Mark Speed's been doing that most of the season for Dunfermline in the National League. He got his opportunity there, the ball was played into him, he was in good shape, good position, and an excellent back hook into the corner. He'll be extremely pleased with that.
Yeah, Scottish centre forwards have done well this game. Rutherford scoring 1 from centre forward and 1 in the man up, similar type of centre forward position. And Mark Speed with that goal, and also the one he took at the far post. Singapore on the attack here, and the shot off the bar. Simon Metcalf ready to release Scotland. Finds Alistair Campbell on the left. The clock runs down, the 30-second clock runs down, and Scotland just happy to play this game out. But for some reason, and I will ask you why in a moment, Ian, the Singapore coach wishes to prolong Singapore's stay in this Commonwealth Water Polo Championships 2014. 30 seconds of their involvement remaining, and Lee Siang Meng calls for the timeout. What do you make of that?
No, I think that's fair enough. He can use his timeout. If he calls a timeout, he gets the opportunity to play the full attack from up in the opposition's area, rather than start the attack and lose 10 or 12 seconds to set the play up. So it's certainly not going to affect the outcome of the game, but that's good practice as a coach.
So Singapore now allowed to enter the Scottish half for the last 15 seconds off the timeout and set things up. Referee Mike Dukes will present Ko Jian Ying, number 12 for Singapore, with the ball. 31.5 seconds remaining. Singapore Blue Hats hoping to score their 7th goal of the evening and finish on a high. But with shooting like that, it's not going to go and beat Simon Metcalf. Although that said, it's been decreed that he did get a finger to it. So Singapore will have the ball in the 2-metre line. Not even sure Simon would wish to claim that as a save. And number 12, Ko Jian Ying, comes forward. And the clock runs down, the match clock runs down. And Campbell's, Darren and Chris Campbell ends with the ball as Scotland will celebrate a memorable victory. First time they've ever played Singapore, and coming out on top by 12 goals to 6. And more importantly, securing 4th place in the round robin and a place in the bronze medal match here at the Aberdeen Sports Village for the Commonwealth Water Polo Championships 2014. So we now know the final roundup and line-up of the games tomorrow. It is Wales against New Zealand for the 5th, 6th place, South Africa against Scotland for the 3rd, 4th, and the gold medal match in the men's competition between England and Malta. Ian McCallum, any closing comments on tonight's match?
Yeah, a nice sound workmanlike performance by Scotland. They fully deserved the victory and the opportunity to play off with South Africa for the bronze medal. If it's anything like the game that we had against South Africa in the round robin, then we'll be in for a treat tomorrow night. I believe there's still some seats left at Aberdeen Sports Village for the match tomorrow. A massive crowd is required to help Scotland, and let's hope that they can make the bronze medal that I think that their play this week is certainly deserved.
So one more match here this evening at the Aberdeen Sports Village. The match at 7:30 between South Africa and Wales women. That part of the 3rd, 4th, 5th placing positions. Earlier today, Scotland beating Wales by 5-6. So the match up tonight between South Africa and Wales, and then tomorrow we have Scotland against South Africa. We'll sign off now and back on air at 7:20. Thanks.
The buzz is just unbelievable just now. It's back in my hometown in Trin, everybody's talking about it, and just hopefully I can be part of that Scotland team, and if I am, it'll be a memory I'll never forget.
Since joining Scottish Gymnastics, to compete at the Commonwealth Games, it's going to be my first Commonwealth Games, and no better place to do it than in our home country.
Commonwealth Games are really the only time you get to represent like Scotland on its own, and yeah, it's really special. It's like your own little family really when you're on the team. Go Scotland!
Do you know what, I don't think there'll be anything to beat it. You know, I competed at the London Olympics and that was really special, but Glasgow I think will just be something else. Go Scotland!
It's very important getting to have the backing of the community, the country and that. I'd like folk to get behind you and enjoy what you're doing and appreciate what you do, and that's what I hard work's for. Go Team Scotland!
I think it's really important that people back Team Scotland. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for everyone to come together and support the team.
There's obviously going to be a great buzz around the city, and we're really looking forward to having the spectators come out and see netball. Netball's not one of the most profile sports that we've got here, so we're really looking forward to seeing how we can really engage with the spectators and show what netball's all about. Go Scotland!
Oh, the support will be huge. If everyone turns up, it's going to be a great atmosphere. There's nothing better than playing on a badminton court with the whole crowd welcoming behind you. It's a really great feeling, and I really hope to experience it.
Being from Glasgow myself, nothing more that you want to do in your career. Homegrown, in your city, all your friends, family can all come and watch. There's nothing really more you want. Go Scotland!
Being in judo, it's an individual sport, but when you're in that fight and if you're down the score, if you just need that extra lift. With Glasgow 2014 coming up and the massive Scottish team that we're going to have in Glasgow, it feels like a family. Go Scotland!
It's a huge honour and it's a pinnacle of anyone's career. I was fortunate enough to play back in Melbourne a few years ago now, where the whole experience was incredible. I'm sure that Glasgow can look to emulate that.
The atmosphere in Delhi was great, even when we're halfway across the world. So to imagine what it's going to be like in Glasgow when we're in front of a home crowd, it's going to be twice as good. Go Scotland!
This will be my first games and it'll be a home game, so for me it's, as much as it's a cliche, it will be a dream come true, and just to have that support and to have my family and friends support me at home games, it means everything to me. Go Scotland!